I unofficially... We can edit that out. Hey there, it's Tash, and today I am here to do the Bookstore Book Tag. I was tagged by the lovely Lucy, whom of course I will link down below. Question 1 is the beginning of your trip. You walk into a bookstore and you instantly feel happy. Name a book that has the perfect beginning. And for this, I picked The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss purely so I can be petty as hell. Because the beginning of this was wonderful and I thought I was gonna go crazy for this book. Then I'll read the bit that shook me to my core. The Waystone is his, just as the third silence was his. This was appropriate, as it was the greatest silence of the three, wrapping the others inside itself. It was deep and wide as autumn's ending. It was heavy as a river-smooth stone. It was the patient, cut flower sound of a man who is waiting to die. And that was beautiful, and then the rest of it was crap. So the beginning looks even better in comparison to the rest of it too. The sad moment when they don't have the book that you were looking for. Name a book that made you bawl your eyes out. I'm not a crier, but this poem made me tear just a little bit, and there's a bit right at the beginning that broke my goddamn heart. And if you can, I'd really recommend, I haven't told you what it is. It is Of Being Numerous by George Oppen, and if you can, I would really recommend listening to George read it himself. He has such a weary, fragile voice, and the way he reads it is heartbreaking, and I don't think it would have like half the impact if I hadn't have heard him read it first. I don't know if I can play the clip because I don't know if I'll get sued for copyright, so I might try to...
There are things we live among, and to see them is to know ourselves, occurrence, a part of an infinite series, the sad marvels. Of this was told a tale of our wickedness. It is not our wickedness.
It is a poem about identity, and it is just beautiful. Yeah, please read it. And then question 3 is the moment you're just looking around and find a random book that just speaks to you. Name a hidden gem. I don't think I'm hipster enough to answer this question, because a lot of the books that I feel like are unrepresented in like mainstream society or like on BookTube are literary books that have an impact in the literary community. So I just went with a book that I feel like could be in BookTube more, particularly with this own voices and social justice strain that's happening at the moment. And so I picked Zong, which is another book of poems. It's like I'm an intellectual now or something. Who is she? It is a book of poems, and I think I've seen one other person on BookTube mention this, and I was like, what are we? Psychic twins? Oh my god, I know that book. So Zong. 5. The moment you see a book with a gorgeous cover and you just have to have it. Name a book you bought purely because of the cover, and for this I picked the Penguin Book of Classical Myths. Why did I buy this? Psych, you know why I bought this. That beautiful goddamn cover. I didn't need a book to read about classical myths. The internet is a thing, but Google doesn't have such a nice cover, so. And you know it was a cover by because I still haven't read it and I've owned it for about 2 years. Whoops. No, I skipped a question. 4. The moment you finally find the book that you were looking for. Name a book that you've waited months and months for to be released. I don't think I've ever waited months and months for a book to be released. If I have, I've forgotten it. The only thing I could think of for this was Crooked Kingdom, but even then I read Six of Crows about a month before Crooked Kingdom was released, and then I waited another month to actually read it because I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with the series because I was just chuffed with the first one and I was like, the second one can't be as good as this, so I just wasn't going to read it. 6. The moment you have to pay a lot of money for your books but still feel very happy you finally have them. Name a book that made you suffer but you were still happy about it. Is this a Harry Potter reference? Because if it is, I abstain from this question on principle, but just in case it's not, I picked The Dumb House because this shook me to my core and instigated an intense crisis that lasted for about 2 years. Because I think I read this at the worst possible time, because I was very emo about determinism for like a good solid period of time, and I'm still pretty emo about it. And this book is about linguistic determinism, which was a whole nother crisis waiting to happen that I had just never stumbled upon before. And I was freaked out. And I tried to reread this recently for my 2017 book challenge, book tag, one of them, because I found out it was published in 1997, but it freaked me out too much and I couldn't do it. But that was a good crisis. Love me a good crisis. And then 7, walking out of the bookstore feeling super happy and excited. Name a book with the perfect ending. And for this, I went with the good old Communist Manifesto, which has that beautiful call to arms, rally to action. And I feel like it would sound a lot better in a voice that is not mine, but I only have one voice. So I'll try to tell you the ending in case you haven't had the communist agenda forced upon you yet. So it goes. Let the ruling classes tremble at a communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries unite! And it even has that very last bit, all caps, exclamation point. Who doesn't love caps lock? What a way to end a book. So that's the tag. And I profoundly hate tagging people, which makes me sound like an antisocial dick. But I don't know if anyone watches my videos regularly enough to know if they even got tagged, and then I'm just left hanging and I have to move countries and change my name out of the sheer shame of it. So I might leave it there and I might clock off. Bye.